Okay, good afternoon, class. So at this point, you guys have written a test. This lesson will be a bit shorter, so no time to sleep. Okay, here we go. Listen, we're busy with perimeter and area. Okay, and the test was on this as well. You guys have had, I think you had to finish this exercise, no? The last thereof. Okay, so we're going to just rip through this quickly. We're on 1.9. That's where I must start marking. Okay. No, we did mark this one already. We haven't. Okay, so the question says you must calculate the perimeter and the area of this piece. Not so? Alright. Let's go through this quickly. So 1.9. I know. I felt like I marked this one already. Okay, so please just settle down. If you don't know what you're talking about, just give the rest of us a chance. This is exercise what? 1 on page 177. Okay. So I know we have marked number 1.9. Have we marked 1.10? Yes. Did we mark 1.14? I know that's not in order. We have not marked 1.14. Yeah, that sounds right. So let's go through this quickly. So 1.14, if I start here, the perimeter is going to be that arc here, not so. How do I calculate the circumference of a circle? 2 pi. Not so. And since it's semi, I must divide it by, not so, plus this length here of 5, plus this length of 8, plus that length of. Can you see that, people? So, yes?
A half, 2 by r plus the others.
Yes. So half, 2 pi. Now you see this here, that is a half times 2 pi. I'm just dividing it by 2. Okay. People, what's my r value here? Remember that this is going to be what? Is that the r or a d value? D is your diameter, which is 8. So my r value is going to be 4. Can you see that?
Yes.
So that 2 is cancelled, so it's going to be pi times 4 plus 5 plus 8 plus 5. That's going to give you 4 pi plus 18. Not so? So it's going to be 4 pi plus 18. Gives us 30,57 centimeters. If you're looking at the area, how do you calculate the area of this image? What do you notice? What are your shapes here, your basic shapes? We have a rectangle, yes, and a half a circle. Another word for half a circle is what? A semicircle, not so? So the area is going to be the area of the rectangle plus the area of the semicircle. How do you calculate the area of a rectangle? Length times 3. Not so? So my length here is going to be 8 pi 5. And remember our radius is 4. So it's going to be 8 times 5 plus, how do you calculate the area of a circle? Pi squared. Since it's half a circle, so it's pi and my radius is 4 squared. 5 times 8 is 40 plus 4 squared is 16 times half is 8 pi. Of course you don't have to do that in your head. You could have punched it in the calculator at that point there already, okay? You all okay with that? So it's 40 plus 8 pi gives us 65,13 centimeters. Any confusion there? No? Okay. Then you have to do, let's look at the next question. 1.15. So 1.15 is a bit more complex. Let's move this down a bit. Okay, in question 1.15. Okay, we're looking at the perimeter. And start here. Let's start here. You know what? 7 plus a semicircle. How do you calculate the circumference of a circle? 2 pi half. Not so? But it's half. So it's 2 pi, and what's my radius? Remember this here? That radius or diameter? Diameter. And what's the length of this diameter? 11. It's the same as that one. Do you see that? So the radius is going to be half of that, which is 5.5. So it's going to be 5.5 divided by 2, because that's the semicircle, it's half. Okay? Plus, you see the semicircle here. What's the diameter of this semicircle? 7. It's the same as this here. What's the radius of this semicircle? 3.5. You can see why? Because that's half of 7. Okay, any confusion there? No? So it's going to be 2 pi 3.5 divided by 2 plus this length here 11. You all understand? So that would be 7 plus 11 is 18 plus that cancels, so it's 5.5 pi plus that cancels is 3.5 pi, which is simply 18 plus 9 pi, which is, so it's 18 plus 9 pi is 46.27. 27 centimeters. And again, people, you could have put it from that point already into the calculator. You guys understand? Okay. If that asks us to work out the area, okay, so we got what shapes do we have here? The rectangle, a semicircle, and another semicircle. Not so?
Yes.
So what's the dimensions of the rectangle? The dimensions is the length. So it's 11 and 7. This one has a radius of 5.5. This one has a radius of 3.5. You all understand?
Yes.
Now how do you calculate the area of a rectangle? Length times breadth. So 7 times 11 plus of, how do you calculate the area of a circle? Pi r squared. So it's going to be pi, what's my radius? 5.5 squared plus of pi, my radius is 3.5. Or I could have said it's going to be a pi 5.5 squared over 2 plus pi 3.5 squared over 2. It's the same. Okay? So that's going to give you 77 plus. Okay? That is 5.5, it's 11 over 2. That's going to be 11 over 4. Pi plus 7 over 2, so it's 7. No, that's not. Okay. I'm messing this up completely. No? That's going to be 121 over 4. So it's 121 over 8 pi. Plus, that is 7 over 2, which is 49 over 4. So it's 49 over 8. Okay? So 49 plus 121, going to give you 10, 160. 160 divided by 8, it's going to give you 20. So I'm getting 77 plus 25. You put that in the calculator, so it's 77 plus 25. 139.83. Is that correct? No. Okay, no problem. The answer should have been 143.
Yes.
Right. I made a mistake somewhere. Again, people, you can put that in the calculator if you like. I just like working this around this here. Okay. So just going back, let me see where I made my mistake. So that is 11 over 2. So that's 11 over 2 squared times half. So it's 121 over 8, which makes that correct thing. So it's 3.5 squared times half. You do 49 over 8, which makes that correct. So 49 over 8 plus 121 over 8 gives me 85 over 4. How did I then get? So I see 121 plus 49. So it's 10 carry 1, 67. 7. I got 180. Is my mistake. 160 I got. Okay, so that's my mistake there. So that's supposed to have been 77 plus 170 over 8 is going to be 170 over 8. 2 goes into the 170. 16, so it's 8 carry 1, so it's 85 over 4. 85 over 4, fine. So that's 77 plus 85 over 4 times pi. Whoops. Times pi is your 143. That is wrong. So it's 143 comma 76 centimeters. Again, you don't have to do this. Okay, as I told you, I just like playing around with this these values here. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Let's carry on with our lives. There's so much work, but listen, it's a lot of marks. So if you want the marks, what must you do? Do the work. Okay. Yes?
For the area parameter, we do marks for area and
Yes, separately.
obviously.
So half the marks per perimeter, half. Okay. So if you mess up one and get the other one right, you get what you get right. Alright, for 1.11, I know it's not in order. For 1.11, the perimeter is also known as what of a circle? Circumference. So it's 2 pi r. What's my radius here? 5. So it's 2 pi times 5, which is 10 pi. Put that in the calculator. 10 pi is giving me 31,42.
So if you didn't put in the calculator, so we do that.
No?
No.
Okay, area. So you see there's 2 marks for that. One for substitution correctly into the correct formula, 1 mark, and 1 mark for the answer. So if you don't type in the, you don't give the answer, you lose the mark. Area of a circle, 5 squared. So it's pi, my radius is 5 squared. So it's 25 pi. It's 25 pi gives us 78,54. 78,54 centimeters. Okay. Then let's look at 1.16. Area, the perimeter of 1.16. You said area only. Yes. The area of the shaded region. So what do we do here? What will it be? The area of the shaded region will be the squares, which is the outer shape, the bigger shape, minus the area of the circle. Not so. So how do you calculate the area of a square? Side times side, which is 4 by 4. Squared minus. How do you calculate the area of a... Remember, this is side squared minus pi r squared. Not so. So it's going to be pi. What's the radius of the circle? I'm saying the circumference is 2. So 2 squared. So what's 4 squared? 16 minus 2 squared? 4 pi. And then the calculator is 16 minus 4 pi. 3,43 centimeters. Okay. All on track? All understand? Jada, what are you doing on your phone, my girl? Oh, you're so into that thing, I thought you like on your cell phone. You once with a calculator, now it looks like...
No, but she was there.
Huh? She was on the phone.
You just walked like today.
Oh, you got it today. Nice. That means to say you were a good girl over the weekend.
No, my dad
Oh, the report. Nice. Okay. Sorry, I thought you were. You're like just into, couldn't indeed. You were busy with anything other than, you know. Right, let's look at 1.17. Come people? 1.17. The area of the shaded region. What do we have here? The rectangle is measuring. What's the length of this rectangle? 8. And the length? Remember, from there to there is how much? 4. And from there to there? 4. So it's 8 in total. From there to there? 2. And there? 2. So it's 4, 8, 12. Not so? Oh, you know now. Okay, I understand. You say it's fine. Okay? You all okay with that? So what do we do? People, settle down. Please settle down. So that is 8 by 12. The area there. Not so? Minus a circle with a radius of 4. Minus another circle with a radius of 2. How do you calculate the area of a rectangle? Length times breadth. Minus pi squared minus again pi squared. Not so, but it's a different art. You can't cancel those two. So it's going to be 12 times 8 minus pi. What's the length of the radius? 4 squared minus pi 2 squared. So it's 12 times 8 is 96 minus 16 pi minus 4 pi, which gives you 20 pi. This gives us 96 minus 20 pi. 34 comma 33 comma 17 centimeters square. Okay. 1.19. Why are you saying you as if you're seeing it for the first time? Okay. Of course, this is perimeter and area. Not so. Let's go. Perimeter first. So if I start here, it will be 5 plus 10 plus 5 plus 2 plus this arc here.
Isn't it 60?
Okay, it will be plus 2, which is that 2 here, not so. Now you see, this is what? It's a half a circle, which is semicircle. So if that is 10 from there to there, and that is 2, and that is 2, then what is it from there to there? 6. Now is that 6 the diameter of that circle, or is it the radius of that circle? The diameter is 6. So what's the radius of the circle? 3. Can you see that? But how much of a circle is that? Semicircle. So it's going to be half. So how do you calculate circumference of a circle? 2 pi r. But it's half of this. So it's half times 2 pi, and what's the radius? 3. There we go. But confusing, no? But you must play around with it. So that will give you 22, 24. Plus, that cancels 3 pi. Now explain that part again. How I got 3 here? Would you guys understand? Give me a chance. 33,42. You guys understand? What is going on at the back there? Jaden, for the rest of the time, come sit here in front. Come. And every day you sit at the back there. You will stand here in front. Okay, so I don't want to tell you every day to come sit in front. Alright, you guys understand what's going on here? Girlfriend, one further, one down. Okay, are you guys okay with this here? So we're going to look at the area. We're looking at the area of this piece. So the area is, what shapes are evident here? So rectangle is minus the semicircle. Not so? So this rectangle is measuring what? What's the measurements here? The dimensions. It's going to be 5 by 10. And the area of a circle, how do you calculate the area of a circle? 5 squared. Because length times breadth here, not so? So that would simply be 5 times 10 minus, this is divided by 2 now. So it's going to be half. 5, what's my radius? 3 squared. So it's going to give you 50 minus 3 squared is 9. 9 times half is 9 over 2, 5. That simply gives us 50 minus 9 divided by 2 times 5. 35,86 centimeters. Okay. $1.8. So what do we see here in 1.8? The square is the eye. Oval. The rugby ball. Okay, so how do you think you're going to calculate the area of the shaded region? Skip. But I'm just going to skip. This is unfair of me to skip. So imagine this one comes in your exam. Why not? Yes? Look at it this way. Okay, look at it this way. If you got this, what do you see here? Here we go. So you should have seen so in other words, there's 8. That's your shaded region. But how many of that shaded regions do you have? 2. So once I calculate the area of this shaded region, I multiply by 2. Okay. So the area of the shaded region is going to be, if I look at this shape, it's going to be a square measuring 8 by 8 minus a quarter of a circle. Not so? So how do you calculate? And then I must multiply this answer by 2. Why? So there's one of them and there's the other one. Okay. So let's go with it. 64, so it's 8 times 8 minus a quarter. What's pi? What's the area of the radius of the circle? Pi r, which is 8 squared. Not so? This must be multiplied by 2. So it's going to be 64 minus 64 divided by 4 is 16 pi times 2. So that's going to be 128 minus 2 times 16 is 32 pi. That gives us 128 minus 32 pi. That gives us 27,47 centimeters squared. Okay? Again, people, at this point here, you're going to punch it in your calculator and get the answer 24,47. But the stronger learners and learners always getting 60% or over, play around with what I'm doing. Okay? In your exam, you can punch this in the calculator, but try and work it out like I'm doing. Okay? You'll see in the long run it will benefit. Okay? So you girls are going to be the ones going to study maths at university, must not?
Yes, sir.
No more? Amor? Amor, sorry man, I'm getting confused. Right? You guys understand? Right, and that indicates that the lesson's almost done. So for our book, I would like you guys to re-answer the test I gave you today at the back of your
Please
book.
report to the office. Zoe Daniels and Melissa Bulingani. Then I have an important notice. Learn